Hello everyone, welcome to I guess MetaNorn's end of summer 2015 podcast. We're just gonna talk about some of the shows we liked, some of the shows we didn't like, and some extra stuff at the end. And so yeah, it should be pretty fun. And I have Skyline with me today.
Hello, everyone.
Yep, and Kyokai. It's been a while. I
Hey, it's been a
Oh
while, been a
noes.
while.
Oh noes.
think it's been a while for that, and a while for like any type of podcast on the blog. It's
Yeah,
been
it's been a while, isn't it?
sort of
I
dry.
know that. Yeah, Jiro's kind of busy, but yeah, I mean, hopefully we'll get our podcast started again. I don't think it's going to be as regular, but at least we'll have some episodes coming out.
Right, yeah, that's true. And I think everyone obviously is kind of preoccupied with the fall of first impressions. So, I mean, it happens.
Exactly.
But yeah, so I guess then to jump right into this, we're just gonna, go down a list and talk about some of our top five we liked and a few that we didn't like I was saying. So, Skyline, what was your number? I guess five. I guess we're going from 5 to 1, obviously. So, like,
Going-
yeah.
Counting down from 5 to 1 on the best series of summer 2015,
Mhm.
I have a tie with Monmusa and Dandelion.
Nice, nice. I guess you can maybe talk about like why you liked that
Uh,
certain thing. I guess.
You know, Monmusa had that kind of, a lot of harem can get really out of hand. And this one most definitely did get out of hand, but it did so in fairly creative and interesting ways. I thought, for the most part, they did a really good job of balancing out all the characters, and all of them were pretty fun without being too terribly overbearing. I mean, they were overbearing. I mean, that guy should be nothing but a walking bruise from top to bottom when you get right down to it. But they managed to keep it within the limits. And Dandelion was a very quaint little show. I mean, it had as its framing reference just basically a family, and all 9 siblings had to go through this process to where they were standing for election for the monarch of their country. How that works, how you elect the monarch, I don't know, but you just had to go with it, and you just had to accept it, give it the benefit of the doubt, and run with it. And it was a fairly good slice of life. Had light comedy, a little bit of drama here and there. The characters always stood out, and it was a fun show.
I was surprised with that one because I wasn't originally I wasn't gonna watch it. I was like, oh, this is gonna be a show I pass on. That, but I watched it and like you said, there's something about it that just kept me watching and plus had they had some special abilities. All the
Oh yeah.
so and to me and you had at the season we had that and we had a couple other super powered shows that and I liked how like Charlotte that was the other one. So we had two super powered shows that showed you like not all the powers were great. They all had limitations.
Yeah.
And especially with Dandelion, that one episode where the powers are going like crazy. So Akane's power, she can levitate or gravity, so she's just floating everywhere in her house because it's the day the powers go berserk. I thought that was funny.
Her older brother would teleport all over the place.
Right. Yeah.
The little boy would get like massive power ups and different stuff like that. So it ended up being really goofy.
Yeah.
But yeah, out of between Dandelion and Charlotte, Dandelion was a clear winner as far as story goes. You really can't go wrong with the cute slice of life things.
Right. Yeah. I guess we're gonna jump to kill. What was your number 5?
Uh, it was working, and I still have to finish watching it, but it was pretty good. I've followed the series since it started airing, so it was good just to see all the characters again. And Poppers is always amazing, and the usual tension between, the who's dating who, and oh, am I going to confess to her or not?
Right.
So of course it's there was not a lot of resolution, but still, you saw some development happening, and it was as funny as usual, all the Yamada hijinks and whatnot.
Right. It was moving in the right direction. So I mean
Yeah.
they're at least pairing them off correctly and and then they're
Yeah,
doing
and
all that. So.
acknowledging them, because before it was just no acknowledgement whatsoever.
Uh huh.
I don't give a shit. You don't exist for me. That kind of stuff. But
Yeah.
now, oh my God, there's something going on. Like you can,
Oh
Mr.
yeah.
Takanashi-kun, like Mr. Takanashi-kun, the lolly hugger and whatnot. That guy is actually realizing his feelings. Like that's a
Uh huh.
big leap for me. I was like, I thought, like when I was at season 1, I thought this is never going to happen, but it's
Right.
happening, which is good.
Yeah, I was surprised with all the there's a little bit with the Yamada, a little progression with her
Yeah,
this season that I really wasn't expecting it to be that kind of
yeah,
story, but yeah, it was a little bit of emotion behind that. I'm like, wow, this is pretty surprising that she has this, background that is kind of depressing. Her
yes,
personal, lifestyle of the house. Like, I was like, no
yeah,
wonder
yeah,
she's the
and
way
see
she is.
her,
You
yeah,
know.
but see her being all positive and what
Mhm.
awesome.
Right.
So
Yeah.
her coping abilities were pretty good.
Yeah. As for me, my number five would be kind of like Sky. I mean, Monster Musume was just a show that at the time we had Deliveroo, we had that, and Monster Girl. So it was like the harems. They pretty much every season has a harem. So, but this one was different because it has these monster girls. And like Scott was saying, it's surprising that the main guy can survive that when all of them are clinging to him and jumping on him, and it's like there are moments where like he's gonna die by the end of the series. Like there ain't no way you can survive with all these big monster girls around all the time that
Hmm.
can snap him in any second.
Monster girls have needs, and sometimes you just don't understand those needs. So, I guess from one point of view, that's men to regular women, really.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
And then we had that. I just remember that one episode when they had that full moon, and it's just all of them going nuts because the full moon was making them act a little weird. So that was pretty funny.
A little bit more hijinkies.
Yeah, but yeah, that was a fun series. Something I wasn't expecting, and I think it was just more fun hearing certain voice actors voice characters that they would normally not be doing. Like Mia, for instance, the main girl. I always think of her as like a princess because she did Al No Zero at the time, and she did Nanashi no Taizai, and both those
Hmm.
characters are kind of the same. But when she does the Snake Girl from Monster Girl, it's completely different. It's like she's a little more, I guess, clingy. I guess the word. It was pretty funny. But so I guess we're up to your number four, Skyline.
I'll shortchange that just a little bit because I realize that it's coming up later on for you.
Mhm.
So I'll just mention Gakko Garashi, a show that you and I had been looking forward to since you introduced me to the manga. And
Mhm.
we were both thinking, my goodness, this would make such a great show. And then the announcement came along. We were like, yay, our wishes do come true.
Yeah, every once in a while that you get that the series you like finally gets that green light. Like, oh wow. But it's always that fear. What's gonna happen?
Oh, it's
Is it
gonna suck.
gonna? Yeah, are they gonna get it right? Are they gonna butcher it?
Hmm.
You know. So I guess jump the kill. What was your fourth?
My fourth was Akagami no Shirihime. I mean, this is basically a very romantic series, and for me, I didn't have any expectations when I started watching it. It's like, oh, what? Snow White with red hair, getting my husband too. But then I started watching it, and it was a really endearing story, and good thing about this romance is that there's an actual development. So I'm really tired of those shoujos where oh, girl likes the girl, girl likes the boy, but the boy likes somebody other, and there's some I'm just over these kind of stories. I like, okay, someone likes somebody and that other person likes them back and something like that. So this is
Hmm.
basically that whole development. The season was really good. You saw actually, a common girl, but is actually a herbalist to be, and she's very good at what she does. And they actually have personalities, and there are some interesting characters as well. So it was a good setting, and the development was just didn't for me hurried, and it was a really nice story of getting up with your own feelings and liking someone. So it was really good. So I really really liked it. I think there's a continuation as well. I think Irene covered it for Mehnon. So yeah, pretty good. If you want to see a nice shoujo, give this a watch.
Right, definitely.
Completely agreed.
Yeah, as for me, my number four would be coming off one in prison school. Just an absurd series, where this premise is basically in this how these guys that go to the school to do something bad and they get sent to prison. So they have to stay there for I think a majority of the school year. I think they're there for a couple months at least. And it's just basically them trying to plot the entire time of how can they escape this prison, but it slowly develops into like, the student council doing all these underhanded things to keep them in the prison. And I was surprised seeing that it's, especially that season we had a lot of ecchi shows, but most of them were female dominant, where the girls were doing most of the, I guess, beating up the guys for doing anything. The prison school is taking it to like the extreme. Even like characters like Hana, basically wanting someone to pee on her. It was just very absurd, very funny. And I love that. It was just fun. I don't know why.
And when she blew up, there was a sorry, Sky.
It's okay.
I'm cutting you off here.
It's okay.
When she blew up, and Hana did so amazingly. I just could not imagine she could do that kind of voice, but she did it. It was amazing.
Right, yeah. It is surprising seeing, or actually hearing her do something like that. Even though, she does step out of that Moe cute role once in a while, where it's like a guy character or something, like a crazy character, like Johanna, for instance.
She blew up as Sengoku in one of the Monogatari stories.
Right, yeah.
Not this one though. She
Not
did,
this way.
But,
Not this way.
Yeah,
Okay. I will take your word for
not
it.
Exactly. Intensity was so, and of course the context was so different.
Right.
There was, because in this one there was a mushroom involved, and you would not want to know what that was.
Right. Yeah. I mean,
I have an incredibly vivid and active imagination, so
Yeah.
For me, I'm always like, to be like a fly on the wall and watch them record, prison school, because they do it, together in a group setting. It would be hilarious just watching them get into it. They have to scream and shout. That's always, to me, is always interesting. Because the way they do it over there is different than how we do it over here for dubs. They're just one person in the booth, but one by themselves. So over there, it's a group thing. So I bet they had a lot of fun doing this. I mean, I always think about Gintama too. When they record, they're probably just having the time of their lives, being goofy.
They're professionals when you get right down to it.
Right, yeah. But yeah, prison school is just fun. I don't know. It's just really addictive.
And you don't get this kind of story that often though. Like, a lot of people will be just turned off by like episode 3 or 4 because, it has a lot of extreme things, very extreme things. But like, you want to know what are the boys going to do, because they're literally basically being oppressed, and they have, it's not just fair to them. So you would want to know what happened, would they get out, whatever, are there like all the stupid hijinks that they do, and it's some dirty hijinks that they are doing.
Right.
Yeah. All of that, does it happen? Do they get out?
Yeah, folks, episode 3 and 4, that's where I dropped off when you get right down to it. Once he basically went on that little excursion where he cheated his way out and went to the sumo thing and then came back and it got worse, I went, okay, you told me enough of the story that I want to know. And that was it.
Right, yeah. I mean, for me, it's like this scene, like Kill was saying, seeing how they would get out of the situation and learning that the student council was probably even more, I guess, messed up than the boys, what they did. The girls are doing some very underhanded stuff to get these guys expelled. It's like, to go to that extreme.
Crazy chicks.
Right.
It's an object lesson throughout history that the one that holds the lash is the one that's hottest for what he is punishing.
Yeah.
And in this case, it's she.
Right. I guess we're gonna jump to your number 3 there, Skylar.
My number 3. This is a shout out to Highway since he could not or would not be with us. This is Jitsu wa Watashi wa. Quite possibly one of the most charming romantic comedies I've seen in quite some time, possibly since Toradora.
Mm-hmm.
All the characters were very well realized. None of the drama or the humor or any of it overstayed its welcome. And overstaying its welcome is something I think that anime does a lot of. It tries to milk a joke, it tries to milk a gag or a sight gag way too much. And Jutsuwa just knew exactly where to hit the sweet spot for nearly every single facet of its production. Its animation wasn't overly done. It was just exactly where it needed to be to tell the story. The characters were, as I said, fleshed out, very well realized. They acted didn't exactly naturally, but they acted in such a way that you could conceivably believe that a person would act. And then they kind of cranked that up a little bit more and made them a bit goofier. So, at the end of it, you were just incredibly satisfied with it.
Right, yeah, I like that one. That was another one that shows that I wasn't too sure about. I checked out the manga, and the manga artwork compared to the anime artwork is very different. Very,
Yeah, yeah,
leaps and bounds different, I would say.
they cleaned it up a little bit. There's
Uh-huh.
a lot of real heavy shadowing on the characters, especially on the
Right.
periphery of their faces and things like that. But I think they played with that and kept it going really well. And like you said about like being initially turned off by it, yeah, I mean going into the summer, just looking at the previews, looking at the promotional materials, you were like, oh, what, another one of these again?
Right.
And then it was just one of those things that, wow, I want more like this.
Plus the tagline is vampire. The kid finds a vampire and has to keep it secret. I was like, okay, I can see where this is gonna go.
Oh, yeah.
But actually, like you said, it was kind of surprising.
Mhm.
And I liked all the characters. I'm glad it didn't have an overload of like all these supernatural characters. I think the cast what they had, like the small cast they had works very well compared to like a Two of Rue, which has 18 something plus characters to deal with. But when this one's just like we're gonna have a small cast and keep it small.
Yep.
There's no
Yep,
reason to throw in like 10 monsters. There's
Yeah,
no reason for it.
Yeah, it's like, it's not like the writers kind of like run out of what to do with the next character, so they just write in a new one
Right, yeah.
or anything like that. They said, we've got 3 really good characters here, and these are our supporting roles, and the supporting roles are going to do just that. They're going
Right.
to support these 3.
Yeah, it's not gonna
So,
get into a Nisekoi territory where there's 10 girls.
Yeah.
But yeah. So, what's your number 3, Kyo?
I'm actually breaking the rules in a way, kind of, because it's still ongoing.
No problem.
But but yeah, it's Gintama, yay!
Yeah, they've done so much of that series this season.
I think that's a series that you can break the rules on, and since you're the boss, you're allowed to.
So yeah, the thing is that I haven't watched a lot of summer, anime this time. So mine are actually more of like the ones that are ongoing or been there for a long time. So yeah, but yeah, Gintama is one of them, and it's as usual. It's cool, funny, and people should watch it. That's all.
Yeah, the only thing I'll say on that one is I like they've done a lot of variety with that show. They've done things where they took all the guy characters and made them girls. All the girls turned
Who
to
does
guys.
that? Who does that?
Yeah,
Nobody.
yeah. I mean, the entire cast is like all been swapped. I thought that was funny,
Exactly.
but I was my complaint was
Yeah.
I was disappointed that they didn't keep the actors for certain characters. Like Kagura wasn't in guy form; she didn't have the same voice actor. It was someone different.
Yeah.
But I understand the limitations. They kind of had to change that up. But then they did something where they all switched bodies. That was hilarious. They all switched like bodies. That was so funny.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah. The one with Hijikata and
Yeah,
Gintaki. Oh my
yeah.
god.
So you had the
That
villain.
was so
So
good.
they had the villain kind of working with the cops, and the cop was working with the villains. So they kind of
Yeah.
swapped roles. They had to live in each
Yeah.
other's lives for like a week or longer than
Yeah.
that. It was pretty funny. So they had to
Like,
get used to
it's
each other like that. So.
Yeah. Like it was really funny. Like you can stop smoking and I can have lollies and whatnot.
Yeah, it was pretty weird.
Oh, it was pretty good. So yeah, like hopefully we are kind of lucky that it still continues. But yeah, it's one of the.
Yeah, I like how they are taking shots at other studios, saying that like they don't have to do a mid-season break. They're like the last episode they were joking about that, saying that some studios have to take that mid-season break where they stop and they come back a season. They're like, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna keep going because we're Gintama or whatever. So it was funny to see that we also remember when he first came back, they made that political joke about that guy who was, I guess, accused of all the things he was doing. And yet they apologized and all that. So they do take shots at political stuff and other studios and things like that.
Yeah,
So.
and you know what? The funny thing is that Sarachi doesn't always need to be involved in all that.
Uh-huh.
There are a lot of times that the anime staff actually does original stuff. You won't find these things in the manga. But like somebody asked him that, what do you do? It's actually your work, so do you get to approve it? And Sorachi is like, I don't really care because in the end, my only property is manga. Of course, it's the adaptation, but the person who's adapting it has the freedom.
Mm-hmm.
So the manga really doesn't give a shit.
Right.
Yeah, do whatever the hell you want. And actually, it's in good hands, because all of this parodies, taking a shot at other things is basically what Gintama is.
Right. Yeah, they did it pretty well.
Yep.
Yeah. So my number three would be Overlord. It's still one of those similar, SAO type stories. Guy trapped in the video game, but they changed it up a little bit with that. It wasn't all about the game. I think about maybe one or two episodes in, they stopped focusing on the game aspects, and they treated it basically as a fantasy. So like this guy has all these magical spells. He can do anything he wants. I guess he's the most powerful character in the game technically because he has all these minions. But yeah, they changed it up. It wasn't all about gloom and doom. But if I die in the game. They didn't have any of that, which I was surprised on. Even though I would say the main guy, he's kind of overpowered. He has every spell in the game, access to anything. So yeah, he's kind of broken, I would say.
Yeah, that's my complaint about the show. What did he want? What was his goal?
Originally I think the goal was to find other people, but I think he went off track on that. Like by episode 3 or 4, he was like, well, I'm not doing that no more.
Yeah, it just felt like, I mean, tonally, I could not get a handle. And I'll be honest about this. The last 3 episodes, I skipped like every 5 or 6 seconds, and just said, okay, is the vampire back on? Are the 2 chibi squirt minions back on? No? Okay, I'll just keep on fast forwarding until it goes to the end. And, that was about it. I mean, the last great moment I remember was him just giving that one girl a nice hug.
Yeah. I mean,
he gave her such a wicked good hug.
Right. I mean, back in that series is more about this one dude trapped in the game. You don't ever learn about anyone else being trapped in the game with him.
Yeah.
That's what I was confused on. I'm like, I assumed that the little minions he has, the followers, that some of them were players, but they couldn't tell him. Or something like that, but
they were all bespoke NPCs that his build made. It felt kind of aimless. It didn't feel like the show really had anything it wanted to say to me.
Well, a lot of people they accuse Madhouse of picking up Overlord just for a quick buck, basically, because the next show coming out for them would be One Punch Man, which is huge. So
anime is a business. I don't fault the
yeah.
entity for wanting to be able to make money at what they do, so they can pay the bills and keep on doing what they really want.
Gotta keep the lights on, I guess. Yeah.
Exactly.
I mean, in Hollywood, actors do the same thing too. They do this low budget movie because they want a new car, a new house. So I'm gonna do this movie. It's not gonna make so much money, but hey, it's better than nothing, for most people. And with Madhouse, they rarely do sequels. So people are a little worried that Overlord will never get another season. And especially the way it ends, you're like, there's more to the story, right? I mean, it's almost like a, kind of a stab. Is like, oh, go read the manga now, go read the light novel. But I guess they're promoting someone else's work. I guess that works for them.
Yeah.
But yeah. What was your number 2? Yeah, that high enough.
Non Biori repeat. Because I loves me some comfy anime.
Oh yeah, that's pretty good.
I mean, it's one thing to make it fall into that, cute girls doing cute things, slice of life stuff. But, this is a show where they just basically had that formula down to perfection. It's first season, and then they just basically more or less did a victory lap around themselves during repeat. So much to the point that they didn't even have to do something like say, oh, well, the characters are a year older, or we progressed, or we've done something like that. The repeat in Non-Non-Biori is they went back to the beginning. And not in that kind of, oh, it's a weird time travel device or something silly like that. It just basically says to you, what we showed you that first time, these were just a couple moments out of a couple of these days in a year's worth of time. There were more moments, and here they are. And I kind of like that. It made you feel. It made that world. It made that area seem more expansive. Like there was more always going on, and we were just kind of privileged to be a part of what they were doing at that time.
Right, and I always credit that show to as doing, showing us kid characters done right, basically.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
like Renge. Yeah, she might be a little annoying to some people because, she
She's
does get a
six.
little crazy. But again, that's the show that shows you a child character in anime done correctly. They're
Yeah, well,
not running around saying these huge things that they shouldn't be saying at that age. I credit some shows that kind of do that poorly, but yeah, that show does. It's interesting. I'm wondering if other series could do the same thing where they could do it's not a sequel, but it's like more of what happened in the first season, like in
yeah.
between stuff.
Hmm.
I wouldn't mind seeing anything like that, but I think
Well,
some shows may not be able to do it so
things are
well.
so very very plot driven.
Hmm.
For this thing to happen, that thing that had to
Right.
happen, it happens in such a short period of time. When you have like a lazy year,
Hmm.
you can go back and say, oh, well, remember when we did this? Remember when we did that? Oh, that was before we did this or before we did that. So
Right.
it fits.
Yeah, that's true. And those the kid characters, you don't have to do something weird, something a crazy plot like you said. It doesn't have to be an alien or time travel or superpowers or
Exactly.
anything thrown in.
Exactly.
But
It
yeah,
took advantage of it. It took advantage of its genre to the fullest.
right. Yeah. What was your number two, Kill?
Mine was Shogugeki no Soma. So it finally ended this summer,
Hmm.
and I love this show.
Oh yeah, it was
The
fun.
manga. I'm reading manga, but like you know what? The funny thing is that since I moved to Sydney, I've been cooking a lot more, a
Hmm.
lot more than I ever did. So I kind of appreciated the show even more because, like, I understand the whole, oh, if you add this spice or if you add that spice, it's gonna make this difference and that difference. My God, that's all true. It's not made up shit, man. It's all good. It's completely true. You do have different textures when you add different ingredients and whatnot. So, like, of course, like, the main character is like of such an OC, and like, he's always um, going up one notch ahead. But the thing is that he cannot be always best. There are other people much more even experts than him, and he still needs to learn a lot. A good thing of a shonen manga that you have a food war going on, but there's still so many things he needs to do. He's not perfect. He still needs to, work on his art, and he's just, on the process of getting there. So it was a good ending point for this, and I really loved the whole thing, the whole food porn stuff, and it was just amazing. Same thing as manga. I mean, I was kind of dubious at the beginning that I don't know if this will work in the episodic format and how they will be adapting it because food porn doesn't always work, or like it's just it's all about the ingredients and basically orgasming for no reason. But the thing is, the adaptation was not so bad, and yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, for most people I've talked to that are like they read the manga like every other week. They update it and they say from the anime follow some points. I mean, obviously the ending is kind of leaves you questioning. They ended it in the middle of a tournament. It's kind
Mm-hmm.
of a little bit annoying with that, but it kind of hints that this is probably get another season. And I think everyone else were also surprised that it wasn't from A1 Pictures, it wasn't from Production IG, it's from JC Staff,
Yeah,
which is very surprising to
yeah,
most
yeah, yeah,
people.
Hmm.
Because like JC Staff's
yeah.
not really known for their artwork and stuff, and Soma has some pretty impressive artwork. I would say almost up there
And
with Shaft to me a little bit,
yeah,
but I mean they still got a while to go. But yeah, Soma I
They
think
it
has good
was,
characters too. It's one of the best
they
characters.
yeah,
met
yeah, yeah.
they met that mangaka every single step of the way they possibly could because
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's astounding the amount of research that fella went into to be able to make that manga
Yes,
as
yes.
enjoyable as everyone is absolutely raving about. And creativity, you get people to just make stuff up when you get right down to it. That's what you do when you write fiction.
Hmm.
But to just do it in such a way that pays honor to what you've learned and what people are able to do with food is incredible. It's better than a dozen real life cooking shows when you get right down to it because it's fun, it's engaging. It's not a bunch of BS, which a whole bunch of crap is happening behind camera. They make that up too.
Right.
So
Yeah.
who wins in the fight? Well, whoever the writer wants to win. It's pretty obvious, but they bring some of that drama in there.
Right.
But
But the thing is
Jason,
that it makes sense. But the thing is that yes, of course, it's always a writer who makes the decision. But the thing is that it makes sense. Like Hayama winning the tournament, and it's not
mhm.
actually middle of the tournament. That was the end of the tournament. That's it, done.
Yeah,
I mean, I think these were the last ones. They will be moving to other stuff after this festival. But the thing is that you see that Hayama has been working on for such a long time when he was like a kid. So since then he's been freaking sniffing
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
spices, and of course Soma has given him a good competition, but you could see that even Hayama, I mean kind of acknowledged his skill, but yeah, of course Soma still needs to learn a lot, and that's a good thing. So you learn new things about food, but then you have a good character progress. It's not unrealistic. He doesn't always win, but but he keeps on learning. So that's a good progress. And yeah, definitely I agree that JC Staff has done an amazing job on the adaptation. I was not expecting this at all.
Right. Yeah. I'm happy they did that. And
Yeah, from the track record.
yeah, and then someone else has some very interesting characters. I think there's not a character in that series I don't like. Even the side
Yeah.
characters are pretty enjoyable.
Mhm.
So yeah.
Even the hateful characters,
Right.
the
Yeah.
ones that you'll be like, oh, but then don't hate them really.
Yeah. Like Erin, a lot of people hate her because she has so much attitude towards Soma, but there's also that little bit where there's something more with her. She is not really being true to herself, basically. She
You know
likes
what?
the
Let
guy,
me tell
but
you one thing.
Mhm.
She not actually likes the guy,
Yeah,
but
no,
you know
she's
what? The thing is,
tolerable.
I hated Arena too. I
Mhm.
literally hated Arena when I started the
Yeah, a
manga.
lot of people do.
But if you are reading the manga right now, you might get your question answered. So
Mhm.
now I actually get why she's this way.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
before I was like, what the hell's her problem? Why is she this way? Why is she always shitting on everybody and whatnot? And literally, I did hate her. But if you read the manga right now and if you continue with it, you do actually get a good reason for that. So then now I'm fine.
Right. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to see if they get another season. As for me, my number two would be Himoto and Umaru-chan. I did a series review on it already, but I like that one. It's like even though most people compare it to like Oriyumo because you have a little sister who likes anime and stuff, and she has to keep it a secret. Can't let anyone figure that out and all that. And she does take advantage of her brother who she lives with. He has to buy her things, and she throws tantrums whatever and gets her way. But a lot of people hated it because of that. They hated how she used her brother to get things, but I think that goes away after a while when she starts hanging out with the other girls and she has to like start getting friends and quit doing the anime thing and experience life, I guess. But yeah, like that one was pretty interesting. Even though, like I said, I think people wrote it off as being an annoying show. So I guess we're going to Skyline's number one of the season.
Number one, the lolis are back.
Uh-huh.
It's Prism Ilia 2A Hearts, or Second Heart, or whatever
This
you
is
want to call
so
it.
this is so not surprising, Skyland. Seriously. Like, I didn't even have to look at your list to know what was on your top
Yeah.
Well, I picked three shows to cover when the summer season came rolling around. One was Chaos Dragon, the other was Classroom Crisis, and the other one was Prism Ilia. Out of those three, I ended up having two shows that just by the end completely tanked in the garbage. And out of the one was left standing, wonderful and beautiful and great. And I'll tell you some of the reasons why I like the show a great deal. It's because I think that Silver Link learned an incredible deal from the mistakes they made during the previous season. Some of its slice of life aspects and its original anime content would mixed in with the manga content blew the pace up. It kind of screwed things up a little bit. It wasn't exactly on the mark. It was a show that just left me wanting more when you get right down to it. And in hers, they improved that formula. They just decided they made the conscious decision not to suck as badly as they did the previous time. The slice of life aspects were pointed. You still got to learn more about the three main characters and what they were pursuing. You got to understand that they were, real people. They had stakes, that whatever battle that they were leading up to would happen, but it made the battle feel a little bit more, like I said, like it had stakes. Like by the end, they had to rescue Miyu, and this was a real person. So I thought they just did a tremendous job improving, from what they did before. And they left the promise of another season to come, so that makes me incredibly happy.
Right. For me, I think that series just is. I think there's just so much they can do with that, but I'm a little disappointed that they still can't manage to get, 3 more episodes to make a 13-episode series. They can only manage to get 10, but I know why they do it. It's smart. They can they can stretch it out farther than over a 13-episode series.
Yeah, I mean, because they had to have planned that early on, because
Right.
they knew going in to when they were animating, when they were setting up pre-production for the second series, that there was a third manga series that was coming up. But Hiroyama himself didn't know what he was going to do with the series. He had some ideas, but he was under deadline. And when it came to what he was supposed to do next, he basically said, okay, I'll build this up to a cliffhanger and then stop and, make people really eager to see the next story. And I'll give myself some time to figure out what I want to really, really do with this series. And so that kind of puts Silver Link in the catbird seat. I mean, how do we do our ending now when you get right down to it? And so they originally said, let's just give it a happy ending. It works for television. You're not strung out for another year, because it's not going to be a split core or anything like that. And it's not going to skip a season and then come back. It's going to be another year. So I think they made good decisions. And as far as doing 10 episodes, I mean, it concentrates their budget.
Right, it does, yeah. They can focus more on things.
And you can see better things happening. And now that doesn't mean they still don't go down to the same low down dirty tricks of doing static shots as animation. Episode 4, the amusement park episode, that was pretty much their break episode.
Right, yeah. Well, and they released the OVAs afterwards that are nothing but ecchi fan service the entire thing. So
God.
They always gotta push things to the extreme with those always. I just saw the bathhouse one. I was like, wow, what more can they do after this? How far are they gonna take this?
I honestly didn't even think they would take it that far. That made my eyes water a little bit. I was like, okay, I'm alone. I am alone in my house right now. Okay, this is a good thing. Just keep going, let this go a little bit faster. But at the same time, it was kind of understandable, because, hey, it comes from an eroge, doesn't it, Kyokai?
Right, yeah. They gotta. I always look at those like callbacks to that, original stuff it comes from. So, yeah.
Well, but the thing is that they have taken it too much. Like,
right,
my God! See, there was a reason there was not a Emoto route in.
Right, that would have been the most played, route ever by anyone. So,
yeah.
I mean,
yeah. So like.
It's like I said in my coverage, when it comes to Fate, Naso and all his adapters have a tendency to just really overload on things. And Hiroshi Hiroyama in the manga, and by extension in the anime, kind of cuts off the fat and just makes it laser focused and laser guided. So, you have Little Gil by the end, just talks it up a little bit, pulls out his ultimate weapon, and a magical girl slaps him down and slaps him hard, just like he deserves it. That was a great cheering moment, because no one likes Gil.
Right, the moment when he appears and she's obviously touching him, and he's just like, "Could you stop?" Like, that would mean they get away with a lot of stuff in that series. I'm surprised they get it, but it's fine. I like that.
She was wearing gloves. It was
right, yeah.
fun.
I mean, I like when they can take, like, the big example right now is the Attack on Titan Junior High, which is an offshoot of Attack on Titan. So, that's what I like when studios can do that. Take a series that's super serious, like Fate, and do something fun with it. Like Ilya, it has fun moments, and it has some, I guess, not really dark moments, but yeah. So, I don't jump the kill. What's your number one?
My number one is Ore Monogatari.
Oh yeah, that was
So
good.
Yay!
that was an amazing series.
That
My
was.
God. Three cheers to Goda. I swear that guy. Like uh like when I started I just didn't know that it's gonna be this cute. I was like, okay, it's gonna be some romance and it's this giant guy, so whatever. But like, my God, like the whole thing, and like, the heroine is so cute. Like, every time she talks, I want to go tweak her cheeks. Oh my God. she's like cuteness overload. What is wrong with that woman? Holy shit.
And
So yeah, yeah.
she can bake like no one's business.
And the funny thing is that's gone from Hunter
All
x Hunter, who voices her. So
yes, yes.
it's very
Like
weird.
Nihon.
It's a big
That's the thing.
jump from
See,
that to that.
you'll be like, you don't expect this kind of cuteness, but there, she's, oh my God. So like, it was amazing. I just love the series, the
Hmm.
whole thing. There are, of course, like, lots of like arts in the middle. So like, there's even a girl who keeps on liking Sunakawa, and Sunakawa in himself is pretty cool and whatnot. I don't know who he's gonna end up with, but man, he's pretty cool. But yeah, it's all about like, just, some simple people, their simple emotions. There's nothing, too dramatic about
Yeah.
it. It's a really nice and cute shoujo, and I really had fun like watching their stories unfold, their relationship getting strengthened up, like because there was like, in the middle there was a story about Yamato, and there was this guy in the chef
Yeah,
kind of
the
whatever
yeah
patissier or
pastry
whatever.
chef. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he was. Yeah, that,
in
that, that,
Fukuyama.
that's when I thought things were gonna really get dramatic, because he was like hitting
Yeah,
on
yeah,
her, but Rinko on the other hand, or Yamato, was just kind of like oblivious to it that he's hitting on her.
Hmm.
It's like, what? I have a boyfriend. He's like, what?
exactly.
Yes, but I could. Yes, but I could be a better boyfriend to you. No, you can't.
Exactly.
I just
I
love
don't
how
care,
she
man.
shut him down with an absolutely utter and completely obvious statement. Like, no, no, I have a boyfriend. I'm perfectly fine with him.
Right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't need you. Thank you very much. Thank you
Yeah,
for the
I think that's
offer, but
yeah.
no.
I think that's why I was drawn to that show a lot. It's just it's not overly dramatic like a few shows of the
oh no, we
past.
broke up. We broke up. What do I
Right.
do? What do I
Yeah,
do?
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
Like
yeah.
never
Oh
gonna
my
fall in love.
God.
right, they're like inseparable. You can't break them apart. But plus you have the
Yeah,
side characters. You have one of the guys and his little clique of friends asking one of the other girls out, and they went out on the Christmas thing, and seeing that was pretty
yeah.
nice. It wasn't focused on just Takao and Yamato.
Oh, that, yeah, yeah.
Other characters get progression too.
And
So yeah, it was.
Go ahead.
it reminds me of something my mom and dad said a number of years ago. It's just like, every like, I don't mean to generalize or anything like this. My parents do, of course, because they're generalizing kind of people, but it's going to come off that way, so I'll dismiss it. But you say he would say, you look at divorced couples, and they had friends that divorced and got remarried and divorced and got remarried. They said, they're addicted to like getting back together. They're addicted to that rush. And, every time you see a couple that, is going through horrible things to be able to stay together, you're looking at a future divorced couple. But, you look at a couple like in Ore Monogatari, it's just like, they're both be 75, 80 years old. And it's like, how did you guys
I'm
meet?
still be happy. Still be
yeah.
happy.
And they'll be even happier. They'll be even happier. They'll
Yeah.
be shooting out of their ears. And you'll just look at them and say, what is your secret? And it's like, we just trusted one another, I mean, that's all there is to it, I mean, it was just right, and we went for it.
Right. The last thing I'll say is so there's a couple of funny moments when I like when he's like trying to learn how to kiss, and he has a saran wrap and puts it on his friend's face, like he pins into the wall. I was just like, this is, oh my god. It's so, yeah, exactly. He's just like,
the rap, the
I'm
standard
going
rap.
to kiss you through saran wrap now.
exactly.
Try not to faint.
Those parts are funny.
That and on his birthday, so like I thought there was a mosquito on my list.
Right.
I was like, what the heck? What the fuck were you thinking, right?
Right.
And literally, you just see Yamato just shiver over. She's like, oh my god.
Right. Yeah.
Uh,
That, I mean,
Yeah,
like
Blue
it has some
Velvet.
very very funny moments. I mean, I would definitely
Yes,
recommend
yes.
anyone to watch that if they want a feel good
Yep.
romance, not a heavy dramatic one. But yeah, that was a good
Yeah,
one.
no dramas.
Right, and the
No
last thing
dramas
I'll say is
whatsoever.
I guess he took out his dad. He looks so he's just so weird looking. It's like where's this guy from? He's like this manly dude. Like okay,
Well, he's kind of weirdly handsome, though.
yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
he's like the handsome that was handsome like back in the 40s or
Uh
something like
huh.
that. It's kind of out of place, but
Right.
still handsome.
But like you can totally get it where his son gets it. Like, well, you know, he gets it from in that family.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was a good one. I like that one. And I guess I'll wind up with my number one. Since we talked about it earlier, Gakko Garashi. Again,
Yeah.
me and Skyline were just, I read it and I was like, this is interesting. Because at the time I was watching like The Walking Dead and stuff like that, and I was always wondering, are there any zombie, not just High School of the Dead? And there, Gakko Garashi's pretty up there. I would say I would recommend that one way over High School of the Dead any day of the week.
Oh
Because
yeah.
Gakko just has better characters. And they showed a character that a lot of people may have hated, maybe not liked. Yuki, the main girl in that series, living in a zombie
Yeah.
apocalypse. Her way of, I guess, dealing with that is creating a fake world that she doesn't see the zombies. She just sees, going to school as a normal thing, not realizing that there's no one in the classroom, and it's just her and three friends together living at the school, during the zombie apocalypse. So,
What I think I love best about the anime for Gakko Garashi is it did something that I always cheer a studio for being able to do it, and
hmm
that's not be a complete and total slave to the source material. They realize that they've got a slate of 12 episodes to be able to get this done. They've got a job to tell a story from beginning to middle to end. Even if the series is ongoing, they've still got to be a television show,
hmm
and so they mix things up. Um, they couldn't tell a story like Non Non Biori where it was done vignette style like it was in the original manga. They couldn't, and so they had to focus. They had to make it episodic, and they had to make them all matter. And so they changed up the beginning. They got all the characters together because you realize that's where they should be, and they can go back and pick up Miki to show how she joined the group later on. And then a bit of a spoiler warning. They gave the 12th episode as happy an ending as they possibly could have. If you keep reading the manga, you realize that is not exactly the truth at all.
right, and that series is a lot. It's a lot of you think it's gonna be this way, but actually it's not.
Hmm.
They do foreshadow a lot of things.
Oh
They give
yeah.
you clues throughout the series of even the first episode is if you watch that and look at every little other shot, there's so many
Hmm.
clues in that telling you that the world is
Yeah.
not what it
This is
seems.
not a happy-go-lucky place at
Right.
all.
In
And
Yuki's running around the school, it's all happy. You think it's especially the character designs. There are these movie character designs. They're all really cute looking. So you're thinking, oh, this is not. For people that didn't read the synapses of the story, we're
yeah,
kind of ticked off by that when they found out what it really was. That was
yeah. When I
zombies. I mean, I think Highway was one of those.
I at the beginning of the seasons, I have a tendency to recommend anime to
hmm
Facebook friends, people that generally don't watch anime,
Right.
and I basically more or less just peeled off as much of the promotional stuff that was on Crunchyroll as I could,
Right.
and basically said, "Look, don't read anything about this show. Just watch it, okay? It'll blow your mind by the end. I mean, truly, go in unspoiled. It'll blow your mind."
right.
And that's what a lot of people got the reactions for, because a lot of people, like you said, annoyed as hell at Yuki,
hmm
and then by the end of it, they're like, "Oh, she's a little crazy. Maybe I ought not be such a jerk to her after all."
Right. Yeah. 'Cause I remember when it first came out, Twitter was exploding. You had like three factions. You had the ones that are like that are pro for it, like, oh, this is cool, this is great. You had the other side that were offended by it because they didn't like the cute girls being, put through this traumatic experience. Then you had
Happens.
the third camp was just like they like both of it. They like the cuteness with the horror.
Mm-hmm.
It's very different, unique at the time. You don't really see many shows take that risk of
Mm-hmm.
these kind of fun looking designs and deal with all these sad moments.
Yeah,
Like character
well,
deaths.
it's really weird because you can kind of see that in specific places, but in very short order, and you'd have to go to Robot Chicken to find it.
hmm
Like zombies all of a sudden bust in on the Rainbow Bright Party,
Right. Yeah.
or Strawberry Shortcake. Take a pick.
Right. But yeah, that series is fun. Like you said, they did obviously took some changes from the manga, which I think helped it a lot. I mean, like you said, having the main cast together in the beginning is better than doing the whole let's find these people and then all that. So, but yeah, the happy ending, like you said, it is happy, but to the readers, obviously, they know more than what's going on. But yeah, and most like in like any of the zombie series, it's not really about the zombies. It's more about how these characters survive in this
Yep.
world. And I'm interested in seeing if they get another season. I hope so, but we'll see. I mean, again, there's so many people that are kind of half and half that like it, that don't like it. Yeah. But yeah. So I guess that we're done with our, I guess, best of the season. I guess now we're gonna talk about maybe the worst, because there are some pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, any season has bad shows. This is how it is. And
Maybe
so, yeah.
maybe we should just do this in short order and just name them and move on, so we don't create like
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, just do
a
it one
s-
time. That's it.
a sucking well of suck,
Right.
just-
So I guess go through your top three real fast of the shows you
my
didn't
top
like.
three: Classroom Crisis, tanked at the end. Roka, your mystery overstayed its welcome. Chaos Dragon, your entire staff should be reschooled in the art of animation and the art of giving a crap about what you do. Done.
All right, Kyo, you're next.
That was short. So I haven't watched a lot of shows. So I actually have just two worst shows. First one is actually number two was Makura no Danshi. I'm pretty sure nobody watched it. This was a short, but this was basically about boyfriends welcoming their girlfriends, and that was so creepy.
I
It
tried.
was so creepy.
I tried one episode. And I was like, "What is this?"
What the? What the? Yeah. Can I massage your butt? I was like, please no.
You look
This is the
tired.
kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff that you have the CD drama series for. So just stick to drama series. Do not adapt in anime. That was just horrible. And number one was God Eater. You know what? You Ufotable, I love you, but you just had a loser in this one. That's all I want to say. Seriously, I don't want to get into details.
Yeah, I'm gonna go through my past three. Again, my God Eater is number 3 for me. I've seen the same thing with Kyo. It's like they tripped, fell, got up, tripped, fell, and then fell down the stairs again, and then they just couldn't recover at all from that. So,
Pretty much.
and to make it matters worse, they're gonna do 3 more episodes in winter. I'm like, okay, whatever.
Oh, not gonna watch.
Number 2 would be Rampo Kitan. I just thought it was kind of weird that this little kid was not phased by any of his murder stuff. Yeah, he's psychotic, but I don't buy that. So whatever. And number 1 would be Roko no Isha. Again, the Skyline. The mystery kind of overstayed its welcome, and it just dragged the show, to nothing for me. But yeah, so I guess we're gonna go to a quick bonus round here. Some questions, So I guess I'll start with Sky. What summer series do you think deserves a second season, and which one would you deny ever getting another season?
I would love to see a second season of Gakko Garashi. They've got the material for it. The stakes only ramp up if they pick up from where they left off in the manga, and I still think they can still somewhat keep the charm and yet still ramp up the zombie quotient to it. And the second season, if anyone at Silver Link says yes to a Chaos Dragon second season, I'll stop watching everything from Silver Link from that period on. just as protest. Just as protest.
All right. What about you, Kyo? What do you think?
For me, more Ora Monogatari would be great. Because you see it on still, because there's some stuff left for Funakawa still. And I would not like another continuation to Aoharu Kikanju. It would just the whole season goes off, and the girl just forgets to tell the guy she's a girl. Hello. Give me a break. No, don't want to watch it anymore. That's it.
Yeah, that's true. For me, I would want to see more Overlord. Again, with the way they ended things, it's like they're going on another adventure. It's like the guys can't really end it there. There's more story, it has to be. And another season I would not want to see, even though people, they seem to love it, as Roka. Again, just I don't see the appeal of the mystery or any of that. Story's been done before.
Who is the eighth brave?
Yeah,
We don't care.
I've seen the story done before, but better on other shows. But yeah.
Yeah.
We don't care.
And the next question would be favorite girl of the summer and favorite male of the summer. I guess go with Skyline again.
It's a three-way tie for the girls. Rory Mercury from Gate,
Mhm.
Ilya Svial van Eisenbarn from 2A Hers, and Nagisa from Jutsu Wa, both the big version and the small version.
Right. Yeah.
And for boys, it's the big guy from Ori Monogatari.
Right. Everyone.
Goda.
Yeah. Everyone needs
Goda.
Goda. You know, they need someone. Everyone needs someone like him.
I had a
Exact-
friend like Goda in my life one time. He's a big guy.
Oh well, nice. What would be for you, Kim? What do you? For guys?
For me, well, I don't have a lot of choice for, girls,
Mhm.
but I'm definitely sure that Yamato is gonna be an amazing wife.
Right. Yeah.
So for all the guys out there, if you find your Yamato, marry her instantly. You know, you just need her. Seriously, she's gonna cook you stuff. She's gonna take care of you. Amazing. And for the boys, I would say Sunakawa and Goda from Ori Monogatari, Itami from Gate, and Zen from Akagami.
Yay!
Yeah, I
Zen is-
like the time from Gate. I was surprised that he was married once before. I was like, whoa,
Yeah.
how did he get?
He has
What?
backstory.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, that's
Maybe he got
surprising. You
backstory.
never see that really with most anime characters. That he had a wife at one point. That was
Yep.
pretty rare. For me, I went for Anna from the Dirty Words show about you can't say anything. She was just a highlight every week, just seeing what absurd things she would do every week. Yeah, there's some of the stuff she did was a little extreme, but I think that was a fun character, just seeing her, how crazy she would get every week. I wasn't gonna put a bunch of
Got-
monster girls in there, but it's hard.
Gotta
It's
give
hard
a
to
shout
pick.
out to gotta give a shout out to Ayame from that series.
Right?
just
Yeah,
because.
she was good too. And as for guys, I'll go with Nicholas from Gangsta. Even though Gangsta wasn't a very good series, I still like the character. It's very I mean, for me, it's very unique seeing a deaf character, who has
Yeah, it was good.
It was
It was
very
good.
interesting,
His
yeah.
voice acting was amazing.
Right, yeah.
Seriously,
Yeah.
that's
Yep, I like that one. And
Thank you.
I guess what was your guys' best moment from this season, if you have any?
For me, it was anytime Rory Mercury just busted loose and just beat the crap out of people and killed them left, right, and center. Wonderfully, just gorgeously animated, and she's Rory Mercury like that. Gotta love her.
Right. I can tell the voice actor had a lot of fun with that character.
Oh yes.
So, what about you, Kyo? What was your?
it's basically the same as you
Yeah.
since all of prison school, basically.
Yeah.
Like it was just like, did not expect that at all, but it was pretty awesome. Still.
Yeah, for me, it
No.
was like with prison school, it was like almost getting a double dose of Gintama every week because it has the same kind of level of comedy where they just poop jokes, whatever they want to do. They can do it. They can do it in that show and get away with it. And prison school is like
Yeah.
that. I did see recently that the prison school dub got in a little hot water for I guess Gamergate line they had in the dub. So
I love
yeah,
I
it's in
love-
there. They're saying there's a line where they're in the arcade, and the other guy's kind of talking to that girl who's gotta keep him occupied. She says something about Gamergate to him, and he's like questioning or something about it. But yeah, they got in some hot water for that. But the president of Funimation just added a tweet. He was just like, "Get over it. It was just one line,"
Yes.
So
I can't stand Funimation half the time, but just hearing that makes me respect them that much more.
right. They're just like it's one joke. Get over yourselves.
Yeah. Stop being assholes, and maybe we'll stop making jokes about you.
Right. Yeah. And then the last thing would be question to be asked. Fall's already upon us. What series do you think will be like the best of this season? Well, I guess go with Skyline on this one.
Any show I cover. No, I'm sorry. No, this actually falls under that. I'm making an early call on Showman Sample. If Silverlink, and they've got a great director and a great series compositor on this, if they can leverage the pacing that the manga brings to the anime, it should be a scream. That manga really knows how to use humor as a punctuation more than just slapping you in the face with it. It's got good setup and good delivery. So if they can do that, it should be hilarious.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And as a warning to people, this isn't a show where people learn happy. This isn't going to be a show, I think, where people learn happy, like, moral lessons and everyone was all fine. Sometimes these people are pretty terrible to each other.
Right, yeah. I've seen some of the manga. I guess we'll go with Kyokai. What's yours?
I'm just gonna read off the list.
Mhm.
Post Noragami, One
Yeah.
Punch Man. I have like read all the manga. It's amazing. You guys just cannot wait. I just hope it's adapted properly. That's all I can ask for. But like, it's amazing. And of course, I love Haikyuu too because well, sports manga and me go hand in hand. And I'm actually expecting some good stuff from The Perfect Insider.
yeah.
Not just because it's Noitamena, but the thing is, it's coming from a novel that has a lot of high praise. So hopefully this would be a good one.
Yeah, I'm interested in seeing that because there's also another show just like that where it's about them finding a dead body and they gotta find out who killed her, this person. So it's gonna be interesting seeing those two shows against each other. Like which one can
Yeah,
do.
mystery.
Yeah, which one can out mystery each other, basically.
Yep,
you know,
yep.
who's gonna have the best mystery? I guess we'd say. For me, it'd probably be the return of King's Decay. It's coming back. You know, that's for me. Gohan's is. I'm always, always scratching my head wondering where they get their money from. Because like, the only big hit they have is like SYD, and
A
that's.
bank in Osaka? Yeah.
I guess they have something, but yeah, but for real, I think One Punch Man or Monogatari will probably be the best of the season because obviously Shaft, and this being the last, I guess, TV series they're gonna be putting out. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
can see a lot of
this-
people kind of go into that.
This series, this 12-episode series, probably will not end up being the last one because they still got a bunch more material.
Continuation.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, they've got a bunch more material to cover. So this isn't the end,
Right,
but
that's
it's drawing to a close.
So yeah.
And for a while, but the thing is, this is going to be an end for a while because they won't be doing the rest of the material anytime soon. So
right.
yeah,
Yeah. They got
there will be a break in the middle.
right. They got
Mhm.
all these movies coming out, so they gotta do that first.
Good gravy.
But
Monogatari soon, seriously, that needs to happen right now.
right. Yeah. But yeah, that's my picks. I mean, One Punch Man, obviously, because it's got the Madhouse behind it, and Shaft. They do some pretty good work on their stuff, so it'd be interesting to see if any of our picks actually come true on that. If
Yes.
they do anything, but yeah. But I think that's it for this. I don't really. I guess I don't know how we're gonna end it. Just I guess we got all these fall stuff coming out, fall and first impressions. So I guess you can look
Yeah.
forward to that.
I mean, we've got I think at least 5, maybe even by now 6 FIs currently in the queue to work on for the coming week.
Yeah.
There are at least a good probably 8 to 10 more shows coming out that we haven't even thought of doing FIs for yet. So the next 2 weeks are going to be pretty busy.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
It's good.
Everyone's gonna put in their work, but yeah, I mean, hopefully our readers should get all the information they would need for the new season.
Yep. Because there's not a lot.
I guess thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Exactly.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Yeah. Yep.
Yep,
Let's do this more.
Oh yeah, definitely gonna do some more of these.